guys, so today we are talking about pest control. This is another complex issue, one that I really hate because, well, I guess I'll get to that at the end of the video, but yeah, so we're talking about killing, pests in your home, cockroaches, spiders, rats, squirrels, even raccoons, and whether or not doing so is vegan. So going by the Vegan Society definition as far as is possible and practicable. So first, the type of pest and whether or not that pest is harmful. So obviously we have things like flies that carry diseases. Cockroaches are particularly terrible. They carry lots of diseases. They're horrible for asthmatics. Is that correct? People with asthma, asthmatics? I had asthma as a child. I should probably know that, but I don't. Poisonous spiders in North America, it's going to be like brown recluses and black widows. I don't know of any other. Are there any other poisonous spiders in North America? Another thing I don't know. Rodents, obviously, rats and whatnot also carry a lot of diseases. Carpenter ants and termites will destroy your home. So all of these versus the non-harmful ones, right? So you have the non-harmful spiders, so the vast majority of spiders in North America, right? All the little house spiders and whatnot that are super scary and terrible, and I hate them, but they're not actually harmful. Even if they touch you, they're not gonna hurt you. Or like your regular ants, your non-carpenter or fire ants, just the little black ants. I don't know, house ants? I don't know. I don't know what they're called. I don't know a lot of things, if you can't tell. My point is that there's a big difference between something that can actually harm you and make you sick or physically actually hurt you or destroy your home, and little things that are just a nuisance. Luckily, there are some options. So for larger animals like rats and squirrels and raccoons, there are traps that you can use. We actually had a company using little traps for squirrels. We had a infestation of like squirrels in our attic, and they would like take the squirrels in the traps or whatever and set them free, supposedly. Now that I'm thinking about this, oh my gosh, I hope that's what they were really doing. I don't really know, but well, now I'm sad. But there are, options like that. Obviously, that's not going to be very useful for bugs, right? You can't really set up a humane trap for a bunch of ants, right? And then for spiders, for certain bugs like spiders, ladybugs, things like that, you can just kind of scoop them up and put them outside. For spiders, it's not clear if that kills them or not. I know some have said that, look, a lot of these spiders do live indoors, these little house spiders, so putting them outside kills them. I don't know. I mean, they had to get inside from the outside, so they're probably just going to come right back in and hide somewhere and you won't see them. I don't know. It's not really clear. So optimally, again, you would try to find a humane way to get rid of creatures like this. But if you do need to kill them, I mean, if you have like a brown recluse infestation, that's incredibly rare, by the way. If you think you have brown recluses, there's a good chance you actually don't have brown recluses. But if you do actually have a brown recluse infestation, that's probably something you want to deal with. If you have a cockroach infestation, it's definitely something you want to deal with, right? And by dealing with it, that means killing them. However, prevention is necessary too, and very important, right? It wouldn't be very vegan of me to create a situation where an infestation occurs, right? It wouldn't be very vegan of me to leave the house a mess with lots of food everywhere and lots of sugar everywhere, and then be surprised when we get ants and then we have to kill off the ants, right? It's not really cool. And obviously it's a little bit different. If you are in a house, you have a lot more control over your dwellings and keeping them clean and everything than if you do like in an apartment, right? You're kind of shit out of luck. There are little things that you can do here and there. You can ask your management if you really have an infestation problem. I mean, like there are things that you can do, but you can even ask, to help like sealing windows and stuff like that. But again, if your other tenants are like being gross and it's coming over to your apartment, again, complain, like tell, your landlord, like tell them. But again, some apartments and some landlords are better than others. But still, lots of things that you can do, keep things clean and dry, water sources, food sources, even hair. Cockroaches will like eat hair. It's just, they're the worst. Sealing windows, again, like I mentioned, sealing windows and doors and cracks in the wall and floor, that's particularly good for ants. And again, even if you're in an apartment, ask the management if they will do that, if they will fix little cracks and whatnot. They should do that. So yeah, there are lots of things you can do to prevent harmful and non-harmful insects from coming inside. So now I guess the personal stuff. So I hate insects. I've mentioned before, I guess I've kind of alluded to already in this video, but I hate most bugs, most insects. I guess ladybugs. Ladybugs are fine. I could let a ladybug land on me and I wouldn't die. I finally became okay with the I think it's called the southern house spider, because they just hang out on the ceilings and they're really slow. They walk incredibly slowly and they're not that scary looking. And again, the fact that they're so slow, it's like, okay, I finally became okay with them. But any other spider, no. Cockroaches, centipede, anything really. I guess the little ants are like okay. But even still, in our last apartment, we did have a problem with those little tiny ants, and we ended up getting those little liquid traps where they go in. It's the sugary substance, and they get it, and it's got an insecticide, and they take it back to their home base, and it basically kills all the ants. So we did do that. That's not a vegan thing to do. They weren't harming anything. They weren't getting into food or anything like that. I think they were just looking for water, because we would find them like behind like the toilet and whatnot and near the sink. So they really weren't harming anything. It was just, it was gross, and I got sick of it. And so we did get those little traps, and yeah. And then, spiders, like I will call baby daddy and he will get the spider and he will put it outside. I will not. I mean, if it were just me alone, I would kill them. It's terrible, and they're just little harmless spiders, little house spiders, and yeah, it's definitely a bad thing on my part, and it's definitely something that I need to work on. It's something that we are actually working on, because now, particularly now that I have a kid, I don't want to instill in my baby a fear of insects. It's incredibly irrational. Most insects are not harmful, and they're actually like really cool creatures. My phobia is totally irrational. It's really ridiculous. So I don't want to instill that, in my baby, when baby sees me just freaking out because there's a tiny spider on the floor, and then being totally afraid of spiders because mommy's afraid of spiders. I will feel like such a shit human being if that happens. So we are actually working on me becoming more used to spiders. It sucks and I hate it, but it needs to be done. So I guess I'll leave it there. This, it's one of those tough issues, I guess, in terms of veganism and really how far we want to take it, I guess. It's not something that I like to focus on. It's not something that I think in terms of vegan advocacy we should be focusing on when we tell people about veganism. Oh, by the way, you should just let ants go crazy in your house, right? Like that sounds totally insane. So yeah, but in terms of just bettering ourselves and, I don't know, just trying to be good and do good, it is something that I think we need to think about. And just to be clear, look, with a lot of insects, we're not entirely sure that they feel pain, the difference between nociception and pain. I talked about this in a video a while ago. So as I said in that video, I think it's better to err on the side of caution. I do believe that, even if if my actions don't always show that. Yeah, but I do believe that. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below. And if you have any more tips or advice, or just want to share your experience regarding different pests, that would be really helpful. I know, it's going to depend on your area. I know some people have like real problems with raccoons. That's not something I've ever experienced. I did have a friend, it was crazy. They had tons of cats, and they had like a little kind of cat door where the cats would come in, and sometimes these raccoons would come in and they just let them do it. Like they would just let the raccoons come in and eat the cat food and everything. And I was just totally baffled. I was like, these raccoons could like destroy your cats, right? Like, this is not healthy or good for any of you guys. They just, I don't know, I guess they thought they were cute and they just kind of encouraged them to come around the house and eat the cat food. It was kind of amazing. And I did get to see them one time, and one time it was a mommy and a baby, and I have to admit they were really adorable. So I don't know. Point is, if you have any advice or tips for dealing with little critters, insects or squirrels or whatever else, please leave that down below. And if you want to subscribe, of course, subscribe. And thank you so much to everyone who supports the channel over at there we go, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan, and especially thanks to these patrons right here. And I guess that's it. Thanks again, everybody, and I will have a video very soon.